What's up, everybody? This is SC Romero of the Fantasy Football Universe here today to break down the SEC conference and give you my top 10 offensive Devy prospects and my top 5 IDP prospects. All that and more right after the intro. What's up, everybody? Again, this is SC Romero of the Fantasy Football Universe. Before we begin, if you like fantasy football, if you like Devy, if you like IDP, if you like Dynasty, Redraft, Guillotine, Frankenstein, any type of league, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're dropping daily content, and we're just getting started. The season is beginning, and we are excited. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow the Fantasy Football Universe. But today, we're going to talk about the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, arguably the best conference in the entire nation. You have prospect after prospect coming out, and I thought, why not bring my top 10 prospects in that conference right now to light, who I like right now going in and who I think can have some good seasons or be some future NFL stars. And we're going to talk about some offensive guys and some defensive guys for you. So I'm excited to get this one started. So let's start with the offense. My top 10 offensive guys, starting with Missouri wide receiver Luther Burden. Now, people that were a fan of Malik Neighbors should obviously like Luther Burden too. He plays with that physicality, has speed, has crisp route running. This guy, he's doing it with a I don't want to say a subpar quarterback in Brady Cook, but a quarterback that's like, man, imagine if he had Jaden Daniels last year. Imagine if he had Caleb Williams. I mean, just all these imagines what it would be. But he's still doing it with Brady Cook, and he's making Brady Cook look great. Don't get me wrong. Brady Cook's good, but he's making him look great. Luther Burden is that type of wide receiver. And there's another wide receiver in the Big 12. We'll talk about him in a later time that I know people have him as wide receiver one. Luther Burden to me right now is the wide receiver one of the 2025 class. I think he is a special talent. He's going to be someone that's going to make an impact day one on whatever team he goes to. He is just going to be that guy. And I really think he's the first wide receiver off the board in the 2025 NFL draft. Luther Burden out of Missouri is going to have a big year. He's going to continue to shine, continue to show why he's a top prospect. And even if he isn't the wide receiver one to you, he's probably your wide receiver two, at minimum three, because you can have a guy in the Big Ten that's at your number two, at minimum three, but he's definitely in the top three of the 2025 class for you, and he's going to be great at the next level. That's wide receiver out of Missouri, Luther Burden. Now, my second Devy prospect in the SEC conference is Tennessee quarterback Nico Iamaleava. Now, if you will talk about elegance, if you will talk about precision, if you will talk about playmaking ability, if you will talk about arm strength, then you're probably talking about Nico. This kid does it all, and with the spread offense that Tennessee kinds of runs, I think he's going to really bring this offense to a different level this year. They're honestly a sleeper team in a sense to win the SEC. I mean, if he comes out and balls like he could, that it's very possible that he leads as the Tennessee Volunteers to a good season. Nico Iamaleava is just very pristine. Again, one of my favorite freshmen, Mike Matthews, is going there. He has Nathan Leacock there. He has other playmakers with him as well. He can definitely make it happen and help Tennessee excel their expectations for this year. And just I'm very excited to see what he can do. He's not coming out till 2026 class, but he right now is the QB1 for me in the class. And right now, the QB1 when it comes to Devy in general. I think he's a top prospect, and if you're getting him now, you're being ahead of the game because he's only going to elevate in value. So whatever you get him now, it's going to double, if not triple, by end of next year. He is that good that I'm excited to see what he does in Texas field and how he can take this team to the next level. They had Joe Milton last year. Now it's Nico's turn. Nico is stepping up to the plate. He's coming in saying, hey, I am the leader here. I am going to make it happen. He's the, look at me. I am the captain now. And that's what Nico's about to do for Tennessee. SEC needs to be on watch. The SEC is no longer in two different conferences. It's no longer East and West. It is every team together. So Tennessee being in that part can now make an impact and be like, look, man, we are a top team in the entire conference, not just in your East. We're a top team in the entire conference. And that's going to start with Nico just elevating the guys around him and becoming that leader and that vocal, not only in the huddle, but in the locker room as well. And I think he can do that. Again, just a great talent all around. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do this next year for him. Now we're going to talk about a new team to the SEC, and that's going to be Texas running back Cedric Baxter. Now, Cedric Baxter, this is a big what if, right? Because we don't know what he's going to do without Brooks now, right? He's going to come in here, no Jonathan Brooks. Now it's his turn. Let's take it on. They have Jadon Blue there still. Average 4.8 yards per carry and show some elusiveness in what we saw. Show that elusiveness against Alabama, the only SEC game he played. The which was a little concern. 2.8 yards per carry. Again, didn't get much opportunity, but still 2.8 yards per carry. Okay, what can we do? He did have 4 receptions for 21 yards, though, so that's good. If he's involved in the passing game, it's just going to be better. For a lot of people, he was the RB1 of the freshman class last year. Just an overall great talent. It's going to be exciting to see what he can do as well when he actually is like the guy. Texas has been steady producing running backs, and Cedric Baxter can very well be the next guy there. And if he does it at the SEC level, that's going to be huge. We saw what Quinshon Judkins did 2 years in a row in the SEC, elevated his draft stock, and now people are loving him as well. Cedric Baxter could be the next line in that. Again, a speedy, shifty back, has good hands, knows how to use his footwork to evade the defenders and miss some tackles. That's going to be exciting to watch. Again, Jadon Blue is there, and Jadon Blue's a sleeper. That's going to be a possible honorable mention. But that guy is someone that can go in and take Cedric Baxter if he has the hot hit and just ends up being great too. So that could be something to watch. But right now, I believe the lead back in Texas, the back that you want in Texas, is running back Cedric Baxter. I expect big things for him, and especially going into the SEC, he's going to need to do big things for him to have any relevancy for the Texas Longhorns and to actually give the Texas Longhorns a shot. It can't just all be on Quinn Ewers this year. SEC's defense is too good. The run game is going to need to excel as well, like it did last year with Jonathan Brooks. Baxter's going to do that. Now let's go back to another quarterback, and this guy is rising some draft boards, and I started watching more film on him, and I'm like, ooh, I kind of like this guy here. And that's going to be South Carolina quarterback LaNorris Sellers. Now, LaNorris Sellers, 6'3", good arm, has some mobility, throws with precision, completed 100% of his passes last season. That was only 4 passes, but he completed them all, so that's good. 5 carries, 51 yards. Juice Wells is gone, but now he has Raheem Sanders. Okay, so what's up with Raheem Sanders? Wants a top back, lost a little step after injury, but okay. Sophomore Nate Carver looks as a promising prospect as well. LaNorris Sellers, man, he throws with precision. He's a playmaking, a dual threat quarterback. He can run with his feet as well, but he also has a good arm, and he has a good pocket awareness. He doesn't need to escape. He can get the ball out quickly, but he's aware if the pressure's coming, he needs to. Guess what? He's going to use his feet to get there to the extra yard or to get the first down or the touchdown if he gets the big gain as well. That's big. And we're talking the SEC again. So the SEC has defensive playmakers left and right. They have some of the top defensive playmakers in the nation. So a quarterback needs to be able to escape, get out the pocket, or get the ball out quickly. LaNorris Sellers checks all those boxes. He throws with precision. He throws accuracy, getting the ball out to his wide receivers. He could throw it on the dime, and it's going to be him that's elevating his wide receivers to look good. I always talk about you have 2 types of quarterbacks. You have a quarterback that makes wide receivers look good, or you have a quarterback that is good because his wide receivers. I think LaNorris Sellers is the first one that he makes his wide receivers look good. I think we're going to see that this year. Going into the sophomore season, I expect some flaws here and there. We're going to see it. But as a prospect, as a identity of what he can be, I think the sky is the limit for this guy. And if he keeps continuing to put in the work ethic that he already has shown, it's going to be phenomenal for him. And I believe he can take South Carolina Gamecocks to the next step and, again, be a top threat in this SEC conference. I really like what he can do, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do at this level. And I think he's going to be a top prospect we're talking about when it comes to the NFL draft boards later down the road, because I think he's just going to continue to excel. I think he's going to continue to elevate his game. He's going to continue to put the work in. He's going to continue to show that he's a leader, and he's going to be one of your top quarterbacks that you want. So right now, I feel he's a little bit under the radar. A lot of people like other SEC quarterbacks right now, rightfully so. Some of them are coming out next year. Some we've already known about prior to. So LaNorris Sellers a little bit under the radar right now, so you can buy him lower than what he will be in the future. So I'm getting him wherever I can right now. Speaking about buying low, but not as low, I think this next quarterback actually has a little bit more value than LaNorris Sellers, and he's a freshman quarterback. That's going to be one of my top freshman quarterbacks going in this season, and that's Florida quarterback DJ Lagway. Shout out Willis, Texas, Willis High School. I've already talked about him plenty of times. I mean, favorite quarterback, favorite freshman, honestly. It could be my Texas bias or whatever you want to say. I love my Texas stars. Texas produces NFL prospects, NFL talent, pro prospect, college prospect. They produce football. Friday Night Lights, if you're talking about go see a Friday Night Lights high school game in Texas, guarantee you knock your socks off. DJ Lagway out of Willis, Texas, going to Florida. Mobile quarterback, tremendous upside. He has a strength. You know what Anthony Richardson was, right? Without the accuracy, right? He wasn't as accurate as you would have liked in your quarterbacks, but yeah, he had the athleticism, the size, the speed, everything else you want. He just didn't have that accuracy. DJ Lagway has that. I think DJ Lagway is going to be the wake up call Florida needs. I don't even know if wake up call is the right word, but he's gonna be the guy that you want to see at that next level. He's going to excel. You're gonna want to watch Florida games because of him. I don't think anyone's gonna be as excited to watch Florida games. It's just like the Tebow era. I think Lagway has that leadership capability to be as big as Tebow. That's what I think. Now I know Tebow did a lot of things, national championship, all that kind of stuff. So the SEC is tough now. You have a lot of great prospects. Can Lagway do that? They're building something else around it. They're getting some wide receivers right. They're getting running backs in. They're getting some stuff around it. So that's big. But I do believe in DJ Lagway's talent, and I think he could be a top prospect in the future that you're going to want on your board. Now he's a little bit higher in value than LaNorris Sellers because he's the shiny new toy, right? He's a freshman and stuff like that. So he's a little bit higher in it. But if you can't get him, in C2C and Devy drafts, he's going right after Dylan Raiola, Nebraska quarterback. You're getting him, some he's going before. Some he's going before Raiola. So he's one or two, and most of them. I like him. I think he's going to be great, especially in the SEC. Probably going to be Graham Mertz to start for Florida, but I believe Lagway is going to be the starting quarterback for Florida before the end of the season. And we're going to see a little taste of him, get a little glimpse of his glory, of his mobility, of his playmaking skills before the season's end. And that's going to get people excited. So before that happens, before people get excited and hyped about him, go ahead and buy him now. That's DJ Lagway, quarterback from Florida. Now, another quarterback. SEC has a lot of quarterbacks. My next quarterback here is going to be the Hook 'em Horns quarterback. That's Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. Man, I know people don't like Ewers. Like, I'm not blind to it. I know people are like Ewers can't do it, but he has done it, right? He has it. He did win the national championship. Okay, there's thousands of our kids that don't. Yeah, they don't even make it to playoffs. He did. He beat Alabama. When he played Alabama 2 years ago, he got hurt, but he was wrecking shop in Alabama. Now this is his time. So with him, this is the biggest year for Quinn Ewers. When he was coming out of high school, he was a top prospect, if not the top prospect to many people in his freshman class. Came to Texas. Now it's his time in the SEC. This is a new era for Texas, right? This is a new era for him. And it says that they're going to the SEC. They're no longer in the Big 12. Ewers lost star receivers. Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, Tavian Sanders, Jonathan Brooks in the running back. There are guys that were there last year, but in a sense, it's a whole new room or a whole new array of weapons for Ewers to say, look, man, I am the leader. I'm here to take y'all the glory, right? And Ewers can do that. It's gonna be tough in the SEC. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be tough, but Ewers can definitely do that, man. This kid, I think the leadership things are clicking for him. I think it's starting to. Before it was like, okay, he has some flaws. I think he understands what it takes now, and it's like he knows the type of athlete that he needs to be. I think this is the year we see it. We're going to see an evolution of him. He right now to some people is the QB1 of this 2025 class. He right now to some people is first QB off the board. So this season is a telltale sign because this can either raise his draft stock up or it can easily plummet. If he goes to the SEC and just does a horrible job, then he's gonna drop out of the race. So just the top 3 QBs, I think. If he goes in there and elevate, I think he's just going to increase his chances of maybe a Heisman. I don't know if he has a Heisman season, but maybe a Heisman. But also just being the QB1 of the class. This is an exciting season for Ewers. Right now, he does have value because we saw what he did last year at Texas, right? SEC is a big different change from the Big 12, right? So his value is steady right now. I don't want to say it's like you have to overpay for him, but you definitely can't just buy him cheap. He's not a buy low, but he's definitely an asset that if you can get him, go ahead and get him. I think this is a great buy right now. I think he's going to do some great things. This is going to be something where we're really going to see what his leadership skills are because I believe some of the leadership skills came from the weapons around him the previous 2 years. Now it's him. Now it's all him. This is do or die in a sense. Let's see what you got. You were a top prospect coming in. Now go ahead and show it. Show the nation you're in the SEC. Show the nation you are a top quarterback prospect in the nation there. Now, again, quarterback. Let's talk about one more. LSU quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier. It would not be right for me to talk about Garrett Nussmeier without me shouting out my guy, Andy Pham, QB1 to him, the 2025 class. Rightfully so. I like Nussmeier. He's great. We saw a little bit of him. Last year against Wisconsin, he threw for 395 yards, had 68.9% completion, 2 TDs, 2 Brian Thomas Jr., right? So we saw what Daniels did with 2 top wide receivers, right? And Malik Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. Garrett Nussmeier doesn't have those 2. He has Kyron Lacy. He has Yavion Thomas. He has CJ Daniels. He has, Mason Taylor at the tight end. He has some running backs coming in, right? He has a new array of weapons as well, similar to like Ewers does, but now Garrett's coming in fresh with them. It's not, oh, I've been here. I mean, he was there last year, but it's not like I've been starting here now. It's my team. No, it's like he's coming in fresh. He needs to earn it. And he has. I mean, you watch offseason tape. He has. He's dropping bombs left and right. It'll be great to see what he can do. Against Wisconsin, him and Kyron Lacy connected for 6 receptions and 95 yards. So Garrett Nussmeier has the mechanics and the tools to be a top quarterback for sure. He has the size, he has the arm strength, he has the awareness and the mentality to shake it up. If he throws a pick, he's gonna go in there. Next play, let's get it. So you'd love to see that, especially in the LSU team. Jaden Daniels came short, right? They didn't make it to the championship. So Garrett Nussmeier has a chance to do that. They have a good defense. I think the offense is fresh. The offense is new. People don't know what to necessarily expect of this offense. Nussmeier has, let's say, less of a tip of his shoulder than it was with Jaden Daniels, right? With the top prospects. Nussmeier could go out there and elevate his whole team to a new level. And I think that's what we're going to see as well. I think this is a guy that, to be honest, I mean, I know my guy Andy has him as QB1. Not mad at it. He's not mine right now, but I can see a world where he definitely becomes that QB1. I need to see more games of him to do it, to actually be like, okay, this is it. But this is the season, right? He's taking the QB1 role for LSU. He's going to be one of their top guys there. Another quarterback, though, is Oklahoma's quarterback, Jackson Arnold. Again, a quarterback new to the SEC, coming from the Big 12. So some promise last year after getting playing time against Arkansas State, earlier on in week 1, throwing 11 for 11. That was great. 114 yards and 1 touchdown. The thing about that, though, is after that, he struggled a little bit. Didn't get over 58% completion, right? So it was a little bit, was it him and the wide receivers? Was it that precision going on? Did throw for 361 yards and 2 touchdowns against Arizona, so that's good in the Alabama Bowl when he got that time to shine as well. Dalen Gabriel's left. He's in Oregon now, right? So the quarterback job is Jackson Arnold's. He is the quarterback going in for Oklahoma in the SEC to start the season. Will Nick Anderson and Jaleel Farouk step up? And then Deion Burks is there as well. They also have Gavin Shawtek. They also have Taylor Tatum. They have some good playmakers there as well. Jackson Arnold has the mechanics to rise the draft stock. Now, right now, I'm lower on him than I am like Lagway or like LaNorris. I just like those dual threat type of backs or running or quarterbacks, a lot more. So I am lower on Arnold than him. But Arnold is probably one of the more accurate ones, I think, even though I said that 58% completion. I think he's a little bit more accurate. I think he's a little bit more of a pocket type of quarterback, right? And can actually be aware and get the ball out in a zip, quicker release than those other guys. So he could definitely rise the draft boards as well. He's a prospect that I think you should have him in every Devy board. Check your Devy drafts after. If he's still available, go grab him. Definitely a prospect that I'm excited to see. And again, with him going from the Big 12 to the SEC, he's there. So he has 2 years at least, minimum before he can enter a draft. If he goes in there and shines, I mean, he could easily be the QB1 coming down in a couple of years, right? But a lot has to happen. I'm excited to see what his growth could be and what he can do. It's going to be big deals for him. Next, wide receiver Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. Now, Jackson Dart is on my list. I like their quarterbacks that in the next guy I'll talk about after Trey Harris as well. But the reason why Trey Harris finds success is Jackson Dart. Him and Jackson Dart have built up a chemistry. He's trying to get his first 1,000-yard season this season, had 985 last season. It's going to be great because they got Juice Wells now. So they have someone that can take up some pressure from Trey Harris this year. And I think that's going to benefit him a lot. He's going to get more production, more opportunities. This guy is quick in and out of his cuts. He knows how to make it effectively to be it. He has that speed and that agility to evade or gain that separation, if you will, which I like. So I'm excited to see what this is going to happen. Having a wide receiver like Antoine Juice Wells opposite of him is going to do wonders for him to actually elevate it even more for him as well. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. Him and Jackson Dart have been on a chair. Trey Harris is getting better with time. He's understanding the game a lot more, and he's definitely going to be something at this next level as well because he's going to be one of your top wide receivers. Some day 2 pick. I think that speed and the agility of what he does when he's doing his route running is going to be quick. You know what I mean? So he's going to be really good with it. And I think we're going to see him finally break 1,000 yards this season, especially with Antoine there. I think him and Jackson are going to be a great mix, and we're going to see it again. And Ole Miss, I know me and my guy Nino talked about it. Ole Miss is the sleeper team to win the SEC. A lot of people favor Georgia. Yeah, they've been there. A lot of people favor Texas. Okay, they've been there. Some still like Alabama. Okay. LSU is always a top runner. Do not sleep on Ole Miss. They have built a nice system. They have built a nice core, and this core is ready to take off to the next level. And I think this is going to be a big year for Trey Harris, and I think this is going to be a big year for Ole Miss. It will not surprise me one bit if going into the halfway point that they are, if not the top team, one of the top 3 top teams in the SEC there. Now, speaking of who a lot of people favor in the SEC, Georgia running back Trevor Etienne. He is shifting over to Georgia, becoming the Bulldog, leaving the Florida Gators. This should be exciting. This kid had over 700 yards rushing behind Florida the past 2 seasons. He had 21 receptions on 21 targets last season. Georgia's known for establishing the run. Last year, I feel like it wasn't their best running game last year. As we see the years past, I think it's going to be different this year. I think Etienne's going to be their guy, and because he can also catch passes, he's going to be their every down back. He could be there on third down. He could be their change of pace. He could take a breather up and then come back in on third down, be their change of pace, but he's going to be their starter, and this is the year we can see him over 1,000 yards, even though Georgia has a stack running back room. I mean, Georgia's all about, hey, you're gone, next one up. You're gone, next one up. You're gone, next one up. That's what Georgia's all about. But Etienne's going to be one of their next guys that we're going to see hit that next level of what he needs to do, that breakout season, if you will. And part of that's going to be the rushing, but also the passing. He's going to bring those together into full circle and just become a dominant monster for the Georgia Bulldogs. And, because of a running game like this could be a reason why they just dominate across the board, and I get why people favor them. It's Georgia. They've been top dogs past couple years, right? So they have something there with Kirby Smart. But Etienne's going to be a big part. I think the running game is going to be completely different than what it was last year. Next, honorable mentions, real quick. I'm just going to talk about these guys that you don't want to sleep on. A&M quarterback Connor Wyman, Alabama running back Justin Hayes, Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart, as I mentioned. Texas wide receiver Isaiah Bond. Auburn wide receiver Cam Coleman. People love Cam Coleman. Georgia quarterback Carson Beck. Yeah, he's a little precise, little precision coming out next year. You have South Carolina running back Raheem Sanders. Lost a step, but he still has it, right? He can still be a solid producer for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Florida wide receiver Eugene Wilson. Alabama running back Jamarion Miller. And Georgia wide receiver Kobe Young. Those are some honorable mentions for the offensive side of the ball. Let's talk some IDP, man. Y'all know me. I like my IDP. I like my defensive players. So let's talk IDP. And first guy on the board, LSU linebacker Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins, man, do it all. Do it all type of linebacker. He's fast. He's physical. He can go on the blitz. He can drop into coverage. He can get sideline to sideline. When you're talking about some of the top linebackers in this draft, this defensive class is deep. Harold Perkins is going to be one of those guys. He's just an athletic freak, man. I mean, watch this guy play, and you're seeing him make highlight after highlight. He's just an all-around great linebacker. He is going to be a leader not only for the LSU Tigers this season, but even next season in the pros. He's going to be a day one starter. He's going to be a pick. He could go in the first round. I think he's the only linebacker that goes in the first round next year. Maybe someone in the ACC, but I think he's going to be the top linebacker, and we're going to see him fly out the draft boards. He's going to be gone in your IDP leagues, IDP only leagues as the one-on-one, I believe, especially just with his flexibility and his versatility. Harold Perkins is the linebacker you want in next year's draft, 100%. But when it comes to IDP, some people prefer this guy over him. That's Tennessee edge rusher James Pearce Jr. This kid's just a physical specimen, man. He's someone that uses his hands correctly. He dives, dips and dives, around the edge, swims around the guys, his blockers, with excellence, adds pressure to the quarterback. He alone can change the tide in the game. And the reason why I said Tennessee's a sleeper, they have Nico. It's also because this kid right here, James Pearce Jr., he can change the attitude, the atmosphere. He's one of those defensive players where he can make that big hit and suck all the oxygen out, just suck all the energy out of everyone, and do that big play, that big game-changing play to change the tide for the Volunteers and then help them get a win, right? Talk about the offensive guys a lot. People need playmakers like James Pearce Jr. on their edge to add pressure to the quarterback, but also have that good ball pursuit to get after the guy. He is that guy. He is the top edge rusher in the class right now. I think my top two IDP guys right now are between Harold Perkins and James Pearce Jr. And I can see James Pearce Jr. going first in the NFL draft, not first overall. Oh, yeah, I can see him going first overall, where Harold Perkins is a top 10 pick. Okay, I could see Perkins going first overall. I wouldn't be mad at it. And James Pearce Jr. is a top 10 pick. Those two guys, keep them on your radars if you don't know about them already. They are top IDP players, not only in the SEC, but in the nation. They are the 1 and 2. Let's move on because we talked about the 1 and 2. But anyways, Texas linebacker Anthony Hill Jr., 67 total tackles last year behind Jalen Ford, who was one of my top linebackers as well. Tight second on the team in sacks with 5. Hard-hitting linebacker, lots of talent, has the speed and velocity. I think this year Texas produces, man. Devarion Oversone, Jalen Ford, Benda. They have guys after guy, and going to SEC again, Big 12. You got those rightfully fed young men that are big and bulky out there. They're defensive guys. SEC got some heavy hitters too, and Anthony Hill's going to realize, okay, I need to take my game to this next level now, because now we're here in the SEC conference, and I need to show, look, I am here to stay. I am one of the top linebackers in the nation. I'm excited to see what he does. This is his team. He's taking it over. He's going to be the leader on defense. He's going to be one of the guys that is not only going to add pressure, he's going to have great coverage skills. He's going to get to the ball quickly. He's not going to fall for it. He's going to get some run stops. He's going to be an all-around type of defender, and I'm excited to see what he does when it's now in his hands. This is his team. This is his defense. He's going to be a reason why Texas finds success in the SEC. Now, another one, you don't talk about this team a lot in the SEC, but they got a lot to look forward to this year. The big part of that is going to be because Kentucky's defensive lineman, Deone Walker. Now, if you're following me on X at the PPR, so you see my Devy dashes brought to you by the Fantasy Football Universe. Deone Walker is that big guy that it's like, bro, why are you moving that quick, man? That's scary. Like if he's coming after me, if I'm the quarterback, I'm throwing the ball away. I'm like, nah, bro, chill. Like, you're not taking me out. This 6'6", 345 pounds, aka the total package, runs like a gazelle, but attacks like a bear. He runs like a gazelle, but attacks like a bear. That's how aggressive he is. He is so smooth with it that with his speed, he can get there. And you blink and your head's gone off with your head, if you will, because he gets there very quickly, and then he's that bear mentality, man. This kid will swallow you whole. I'm not even lying. I don't want to be on the opposite side of him. He has the speed to bully and get around your blockers. He has the strength to bully and get around your blockers. He has it all, man. Deone Walker, again, we're talking top defensive prospects. He is going to be a first round next year. I think he will. I think he'll be a first round pick next year. And whoever gets him has a day one starter, has a guy that's going to go in there and make an impact, has a guy that's going to go in there and make the offensive start to fear him. Whatever division gets him in the NFL, I'm sorry for the other three quarterbacks that have to play against him twice a year. That's it's good, bro. He's gonna be a physical specimen at the next level. This man is a grown ass man doing phenomenal things. Phenomenal things. Kentucky defensive lineman Deone Walker. My last IDP prospect in the SEC. Again, if you watch the Devy Dash, I've already done something on him too, but that's gonna be South Carolina linebacker Debo Williams. People raved about Clowney, after that one big hit he had, right? He came in and just knocked the guy out, right? Debo Williams, man, he does it all the time, all season. Debo Williams creating those plays all the time. Vertical runner, run stopper, closing the gap in the middle, finds the ball quickly, has relentless pursuit. This kid, man, he's not falling for the play actions. He's seeing it. He has the vision. He has the awareness. He has the capability to get around defenders, to get small between the gaps. He's getting to the gaps before the blockers are even aware that the ball is snapped. That's how quick he is to get behind the line and make the play. I love Debo Williams, man. I think this is another great linebacker. I said three linebackers here, and Debo Williams, it shouldn't be forgotten about. I think he's still great. I think he's gonna do great things for the Gamecocks. Man, the SEC in general, like, man, what a time to be alive. Like, what a time to be alive. And the Power Four, we're shifting over to a Power Four kind of conference, right? You have the SEC, you have the Big 12, you have the ACC, and you have the Big 10. Every division is stacked, top to bottom with guys. Man, I am excited. Debo Williams, though, in South Carolina, with LaNorris on the other side. Sheesh. Man, this 12-team playoff, I mean, this is going to be exciting to watch. Get your popcorn ready because Debo's going to light it up. Deone Walker's going to light it up. Anthony Hill's going to light it up. James Pearce Jr. is going to light it up. And Harold Perkins is going to light it up. I'm excited to see what the SEC can do. Their top IDP guys, man, these are my guys, right? But they have a plethora of guys too, so it's only right to talk about their honorable mentions. A&M edge rusher Nick Scordon. Ole Miss edge rusher Princely Umanila. I said that incorrectly. Umanilam. I may have said that incorrectly. Sorry. But Princely edge rusher Ole Miss. Georgia safety Malachi Starks. Alabama linebacker Deontay Lawson. A&M linebacker Tareen York. Georgia edge rusher McKee Williams. Alabama safety Keon Sabb. List goes on and on and on. Those are some honorable guys because they were guys I thought about putting in the top 5 as well. List goes on and on and on and on. They're going to do great things, not only in this conference this year, but even to the next level. Every guy I mentioned here, be sure to get them on your radars because if you're in IDP drafts, you're in redrafts, you're in Dynasty, you want to make sure you're getting your hands on them first because guess what? It's exciting to watch as these guys progress, and these guys are taking all the coaching that they are getting and putting it to it. They are watching the tape, putting the work in to be better year over year, and they are getting better, and we're seeing it. And that's what's exciting to see these young men continue to grow and get better to achieve their dream of getting to the NFL. I'm excited to see what they can do. The SEC is going to be something great. I cannot wait to see what this conference brings to the 12-team playoffs. That is all I have for y'all today. I appreciate y'all if y'all were joining in. This is the Fantasy Football Universe. Again, if you love fantasy football, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, on X, everywhere you have, that's where we're at. Go ahead and follow us. We're excited that football is back, baby. Let's get it. SEC conference preview. Those are my top Devy prospects. Again, I am SC Romero. Until next time, peace.